Hey everyone, I'm Jonathan Lynch, your dude with the food. When in Rome, do as the Romans do, but when you're with me, do as I do. Rigatoni Pasta Bake. It's grown-up mac and cheese. Bigger pasta, bigger cheese sauce, bigger flavor. I might not be Paula Deen, but this southern boy has got a couple of tricks up his sleeve. For this recipe, you will need 1 pound of dry rigatoni pasta, 1 cup of diced onions, 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 tablespoons of flour, 2½ cups of milk, 2 teaspoons of mustard, 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, ½ a teaspoon of crushed red chili flakes, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1½ teaspoons of kosher salt, and ½ a teaspoon of black pepper, 8 ounces of cheddar cheese, 3 ounces of Parmesan cheese, ½ a cup of breadcrumbs, some hot sauce. We're going to need 2 pots for this recipe. One is going to hold the water that you will be cooking your pasta in. High heat so it comes up to a boil very quickly, and a lid on top. Second pot is going to be where we're going to make our cheese sauce. We're going to go ahead and get our roux started. Roux is a thickening agent of flour and fat. It's a fancy word that the French came up with, R-O-U-X. I know, it's already deceiving. That's going to thicken up your cheese sauce. We're actually going to start off making a bechamel. If you're unfamiliar with what a bechamel is, it's a roux with milk added to it, and that's going to be the base for our cheese sauce. 4 tablespoons of butter go into the pan. We're going to melt this down. We're going to put our onions into the pot to let them cook a little bit, then we're going to add our flour. This is the Babe Ruth of pasta bakes. My inspiration for this dish obviously comes from macaroni and cheese, but a specific macaroni and cheese. I call my grandmother Mimi on my dad's side, and she makes a baked macaroni and cheese that is phenomenal. So I took inspiration from my grandmother, Mimi as you now know her, and I'm making this rigatoni pasta bake. Okay, our onions have been cooking for about 2 to 2½ minutes in this pot now, and now we want to add our flour. When you add this flour, you have to stay by this pot. You have to stay by the pot. If your flour burns, nix it. You gotta start over. No one likes burnt flour. Turn your heat down a little bit, grab your whisk, and let's go. You're immediately going to start to see this mixture thicken up. We do not want any color on this. Once you have cooked your flour with the butter and onions for about a minute or so, it's time to add your milk. Okay, our onion flour mixture looks beautiful. It's right where we want it. It almost smells like popcorn coming out of the microwave, and that's when you want to add your milk. You want to whisk consistently to make sure that there are no lumps in your cheese sauce, okay? Here we go. What's happening in this pot right now is our milk is doing 2 things. It's thickening with the flour and butter, and it's starting to sweeten just a little bit, because when you cook milk, it turns sweet. But it also scalds or burns very, very quickly. When you see this milk starting to thicken slightly, that's when we want to add in all of our flavorings. So let's do so. Our garlic powder, red chili flake, Worcestershire sauce, yellow mustard, salt and pepper. If you want that extra kick to this pasta bake, it's time to bring out the big guns. Count them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And stir. This is the Brad Pitt of cheese sauces. Once you've added your seasonings and your flavorings, you want to cut off the heat. There's already enough heat in this pot to where the mixture will continue to thicken and continue to cook without having any flame over it. Where's the cheese? Now is when we want to add our cheese. Cheddar is going in. Take half of this Parmesan and put it in the pot, and save the other half to put on top of your pasta bake before we put it into the oven. And stir it all together. Pasta water has come up to a boil. Remove lid. 2 pinches of salt. Add your pasta. Now it's time for thoughts on pasta. This pasta box tells me to cook my pasta for 14 minutes. Do not follow these instructions whatever you do. This is a pasta bake, so not only are we cooking our pasta once in the water, but we're finishing our pasta in the oven. As soon as your water comes back up to a boil, when your pasta's in the water, set a timer for 5 minutes. Once those 5 minutes are up, drain your pasta. It's ready to go. Your pasta is done. Your cheese sauce is done. Let's bring the two together in a food match made in heaven. Now stir this pasta and all that cheesy goodness. Now for the moment you have all been waiting for.
Let it rain, let it pour, let it rain a whole lot more, because I got them deep river blues. Let that rain dry right on, let those waves sweep along. I've got them deep river blues.
Oven at 375? Check. Pasta bake assembled? Check. Timer at 27 minutes? Check. Pasta bake cartwheel! This pasta bake is fit for a king, queen, and the whole royal family. If you can't see it from here, let me bring it up close. Masterpiece! Please don't waste any time eating this. It needs to go straight from the oven to the stovetop to your mouth. Let's do it. Oh, you hear that crunch from the breadcrumbs and cheese? Oh, this cheese is oozing up. Cheesy. Taste test. Because the rigatoni has such big holes in them, all this cheese sauce gets stuffed in there like an envelope. It's like an SOS message being sent out to the world. It's like a cheese sauce cannon whenever you fire it. Oh, this is delicious. Rigatoni pasta bake, done. I don't think you'll be missing mac and cheese anytime soon.